everybody. Welcome to Balls and All, your sports and leisure show, and we come to you
Where are we coming from?
Well, I was about to ask you, Wayne, where are we coming from?
Well, we're coming from...
First of all, I got Wayne here, of course, Wayne Simmons.
How you doing, guys?
And, of course, the Action Man. Hey, Action Man.
Howdy, how are you?
Good, good. Now, where are we? Let's talk about where we are.
Well, we're at CTV, the famous CTV. Now, we're actually in Northbridge, and we're around the Citadel of Learning facilities. We've got TAFE down the street, and we've got everything
we
here.
Got Central TAFE right behind our cameraman, or off to the other side there. We've got the museum, and, of course, the city, as you've said.
And notice, Moose, we all feel smarter just being in this area.
Well, yeah, I feel dumber at the moment.
Oh.
But anyway, now we got all kinds of things happening tonight, and
2 and 2 is 4.
Another 2-hour show, and the main reason why we're doing all these big shows is we have so many stories that we want to try to get out, because some stories date a little bit, and we want to try to get them out because it's your show, and with the Ashes and all that cutting us up a bit, so that's what happened.
Really slicing us up, but go Ashes.
CTV, what is CTV?
Well, I think it's community television. I told you I'm feeling smarter, Moose. Did you see how?
See?
That was pretty good, huh?
He can
community
even say,
television. How you doing, young lady?
Even big words.
How you doing?
How are you? Cameron,
Yeah.
did you get her? She said g'day. Cameron, did you get her? She said g'day.
You didn't get that beautiful young
didn't
lady?
get her. Okay.
Jesus
Anyway, actually, man, what kind of
Christ.
stories? First of all, let's get the
balls and all rolling.
Okay. Now, actually, now what kind of stories we're going to hear from tonight?
We've got one, and it's the first of the interview of the week. We've got a special guest, and it's an interview on fly fishing, if I'm correct.
Yeah, and that's our reporter of the week. We've been saying to you, if you want to be a reporter for the week, one-off thing, come down, have a bit of fun, and we got a special guest.
Now, Moose.
Actually, Wayne,
Yeah.
tell some of your stories.
Well, we've got a few stories. We've got, let's just go here. We've got stuff out of Ellenbrook Speedway. We've got the marshals who do a very difficult job, and we're going to tell you a little bit about that, how they control the safety at the track. And speaking of safety.
And don't you do a bit of basketball too, Wayne?
Yeah, well, we got a little bit of basketball happening. You know, you got big superstars like Moose and myself.
Andrew Vlahoff. Luke Longley's actually coming back to Perth, which is good to see.
Yeah, he is.
So the rumor, guys. Anyway, all right. Well, look, we're getting the wind up. Let's go have a look at our first story, which is
our first story is actually done where, Moose?
it's amazing, this story that we've got.
Yeah,
it's coming up from.
It's Ellenbrook, I think.
See.
Yeah, Ellenbrook. As our other guy, Tony, just told us, Ellenbrook.
Let's go have a look at a story. Oh, by the way, I hope you all had a good time, and thanks to everyone who came down. Don't forget, you can still donate to the Kids with Cancer, and we'll give you
Canteen
details on
fund.
that. Yeah, so let's go have a look at that story.
Now, talking about field marshals, no, we don't mean Herman Goering. We're talking about field marshals that actually work at the race events, and we're going to talk to 2 superstar field marshals of the sport. And I'm talking to Jerome. How you doing, Jerome?
Good, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Oh, very good. And come on out here, Brian.
Brian, thank you.
Now, for a lot of people that don't know, what actually is your job as field marshals, guys?
The club's got a racing rule book, and we've got to try and implement it best we can, and we're not always right, we're not always wrong. As best we can so that all the drivers get a fair go. The rules are there for everyone. They're the same for each division. And the whole aim is to make it fair for everybody, whether they've got a big budget or a small budget.
Right. Now, how long have you been doing this, young man?
8 years.
And what got you involved in it?
Friends of mine got me to join the club, and I decided to fulfill their place while they couldn't get anyone. And now I'm here for 8 years.
Excellent. Well, you've already got one up on me. You have friends. Now, basically, now how long have you been involved in it, and what got you into it?
I've been involved as a driver, an official, and a club executive member at various clubs for about 25 years. What started me, my mum and dad took me to Speedway at Clermont when I was about 3 weeks old. And always been involved. My father started racing when I was around about 18, 19. And I was hooked. All my 3 younger brothers were involved, either as drivers, mechanics, or photographers, video people. So the whole family's been involved in it for a long time. My son with them, my daughter, we've all been involved in it.
Now, okay, if somebody wanted to get started in this, is it natural for them to have been a driver before they can do this particular job, or is there some training they can get?
Not really. Sometimes it can be a blessing or curse to be an ex-driver, because a lot of drivers that you know try and take advantage of that. But there's a lot of officials that have never raced but have good knowledge of the sport because they've been involved for a number of years. But there is courses you can do. The Speedway Commission that's just being set up in West Australia, and also the AFCF Saloon Car Federation, they've got courses you can attend to get training.
Okay, now Brian, I got to ask you this. A man after my own heart, two big guys like myself. Now, what's the sneakiest thing a race car driver has done out here and tried to get away with it?
Coming up behind a person and shunting him like that so that they can turn him around and get past him. That's a lot of the sneaky things they did try.
Wow. Now, what happens when they do that?
Well, sometimes you give them the benefit of the doubt, but if it's deliberate, they get a black flag, which automatically disqualifies them.
Now, I mean, you guys put yourselves on the line a lot of times, too. I mean, what different type of marshals are there? I think you guys have people out in the pits and...
We have your owner, Chief Stewart. He controls whether he says that player is, or driver is at fault and when to stop the race. I'm here under his instructions to use the flags and the lights. So are the other ones on the field. There's main flag one down there, and then there's two on either corner.
Okay, then. Oh, excellent. And I mean, these are just some of the precautions that go in to help making it safe. I know sometimes it's pretty difficult for you guys out there, but is there anything you would like to say to someone that might want to get involved in being a steward or being a field marshal?
Yes, you've got to have your eyes peeled everywhere, and got to think whether that person is going to deliberately do it or he just hasn't got any more room to move, and it's just a racing incident. These are things you've got to look out for.
Okay, then. Well, I just want to thank you guys for your time, and we hope everything goes well up here. I mean, Ellenbrook Speedway has always been good to us, and we encourage everybody to come out here. It's a place you can bring your family and your kids, and you'll be surprised. Once you get out here, you'll definitely get hooked on the sport. So thank you, guys.
Well, Jerome and I'd like to thank you for interviewing us on behalf of Ellenbrook Speedway. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks to everyone up at Ellenbrook. Like I say, don't forget, keep giving those donations to the kids with cancer, Princess Margaret Hospital. And, of course, there's the big telethon coming up soon on Channel 7. Get involved. It's a great way to donate. Well, here we are at CTV, and we'll just come on inside here, community television in Perth. And this is what makes it all happen. This is for the the people that we deal with here, CTV, community television. And I think Wayne's in here having a bit of a chat with Don Sevier, and Don's one of the guys who really makes it all tick here. He's hiding over at his desk, doesn't know we're doing this, but this is the way we do our show anyway. Wayne, it's up to you.
How the heck are you, Don?
I'm Butte.
Okay, now, John, a lot of people out here want to know, what is CTV?
Community Television Perth.
Okay, now, how was this started?
About 8 years ago. About 8 years ago, everybody thought, wow, we've got heaps of community radio stations. Why not a community television station? And took up the cudgel, and it happened throughout Australia. The government agreed, and there was a 31 license established in each state.
Oh, excellent. Now, and how did they get you on board?
Well,
was it bribery or what happened?
Yeah, well, I'm a sucker for punishment, I suppose. Okay. I saw that I wanted to be involved with community television roughly about when it started, and it started at Film and Television Institute in Fremantle. Okay. That's where it sort of was gestated. Okay. And they lived there for a few years, had a trial broadcast, shifted somewhere else, had a trial broadcast, shifted to Curtin University, had a trial broadcast, lived in somebody's backyard shed, had a trial broadcast, etc. And eventually ended up at Edith Cowan. When the consortium established, Access 31, CTV sort of lost its way a bit, said, what are we going to do next now that we've got a continuous broadcaster? And they lost their way a bit. So anyway, and 31 started to run out of space, so they shifted into a property store and tried to re-crank up their activity. And they got some money to run a work for the Dole. And I'd been in training for 20 odd years, and I was semi-retired, and they rang up and said, hey, you know, do you want to help us out with these 15 young bods looking for jobs? And I said, well, that's roughly up my alley. And I've been there ever since.
Now, the other thing that we could ask you basically is, what's the difference, okay, say, between CTV, Channel 31, how do they all fit together, how do they all mesh?
So the consortium was established. The consortium was made up of partners like this. There was Edith Cowan University, of course, that's where they're domiciled at the moment. There was the UWA, there was Curtin University, where they'd lived for a couple of years and had a trial broadcast. There was the Trotting Association, which supports them with Friday night trots. There was Aboriginal Media, which was great. There was TAFE Media. They've changed their name, but in essence it's media of TAFE students. There was the Film and Television Institute, and there's Community Television with a couple of seats on the board. So that consortium of bods found the money to get the transmitter to establish Access 31, and away it went. After that, I think Community Television as an organisation lost its way a little bit. However, we managed to get a substantial Lotteries Commission grant, which allowed us to set up this place with the equipment that we're getting, and we've nearly finished with that. We shifted to this location in Northbridge because we needed the space, and now we need more space. And now we need to grow again. And fortuitously, Channel 31 itself, the broadcaster, they need space to grow. And whilst the broadcaster is staying, I believe this is the truth, is staying out there at ECU, the administration and other activities need to go somewhere else. So that means we can get back in the same geographic location as the broadcaster that we literally produce programs for. And that'll be magic. I mean, we'll come together, they'll come together, we can work as one yet again, like we used to 2 years ago, and go forward to bigger and better things and more balls than ever.
Oh, that's good. More balls, and we just got to keep those cards and letters swinging. Now, thanks a lot for your time there, and we're just getting ready to go to a little bit of a break. But before we do, there's always a little thing as a telephone number. And is there a telephone number? Let's say somebody wants to get involved with you guys.
If there's any sweet things out there, my telephone number is.
I like this guy, 0055. No,
No, the real number, and you can get me on that too, 9227 5355. You get it?
I got that.
9227 5355.
Beautiful. Make sure you get this young man. Notice I said young man. That should score me some points. Now, anyway, thanks a lot. And we're going to take what is called a break.
Welcome back from the break, everyone, and I'm still at CTV with Simon. Now, what do you do here, Simon?
At the moment I'm doing a bit of editing. Generally I do a bit of everything, but this one's for, in a couple of days there's going to be a big opening of an exhibition at the Fuel Bar at the Pika for 24 hours, which is a Northbridge photography project that happened in June this year. And so I'm doing a little bit of editing for the opening show, and if people want to come down to that, they're quite welcome.
Now, you mentioned Pika. What is Pika?
Pika is the Perth Institute of Contemporary Arts. It's based in the Cultural Centre, where the exhibition is going to be held and is going to be opened on the 15th of August, is at the Fuel Bar, which is the small coffee shop licensed bar at the Institute down there. I think there's free entry, and you can come down and see all the photos. If you don't manage to get down there for the opening, I think it extends for another 2 weeks after that. And yeah, it's a great project that shows a lot of Northbridge.
So, what originally got you involved in CTV?
I really needed something to do while I was recovering from a pretty bad job that I had. And so I went to CTV and did that. And well, it wasn't actually CTV, it was the station as well. I started off at the station and helping with community production, and never left, never looked back.
So, are there any major projects you have in the pipeline?
At the moment, I've been involved with a whole range of projects. One of them is called Wax Lyrical, which is a with the Australian Songwriters Association. Plenty of people. I've got one which is coming up to be broadcast in the next couple of months called Poetry in Perth, which is the second series of a show that was started about a year and a half ago by a lady called Alida Hazelgrove. Many things. I mean, too big a question. Ask some small questions, you know.
All right. Do you think you get much experience in working here?
I've had a lot. I've been doing it now just under 2 years, and I've run the gambit of virtually all sorts of production and really enjoyed it. I've gained a lot of it, more than I can even say in a short space of time.
Well, thanks, Sam, for talking to us. Now, we're going to a story Moose did. It's part 2 of the SES. And let's check that out.
Good day, everyone. It's Moose here, and I'm down at the big competition here that the SES and everyone's holding. You might have seen a while back, and I'm talking to Phil again. Hi, Phil. How are you?
Hi. How are you today?
Good, good. Now, tell us, because while we've been wandering around, it really is an important issue. What are some of the things that you guys look at as soon as you get to an accident? What's one of the first things you guys do?
One of the first things is to make the scene safe. Firstly, to the rescuer, because there's no point in injuring them. And then the next part is to make sure there's any spectators are out of the way, and then we've got to consider the patient in the vehicle and their safety.
So they're about the third thing you get to. You got to look after you, look after
they're
everyone.
Already injured. We don't wish to create any more injuries with either the rescuers or the people standing by.
Okay, now you mentioned to me while we were off camera something about one of the first things they do is check the battery. Why is that?
The rescuers, when they arrive, they check the battery. It could be a source of ignition. Also, it also provides a electrical circuit for things like airbags that still may go off at some point, which provides a source of injury to the rescuer or to the patients.
And also when they're cutting the metal, you said there's certain things to know about it?
Cutting the metal is you need to know where components are in the vehicle to make sure you're not cutting through pyrotechnics for safety seat belts. So yes, you need to know your cars reasonably well.
And the stresses, and if you cut something, it can pop up on you and all that.
When a car has an accident, it suddenly goes into situations where the body becomes under stress and certain bits of plastic and steel. So when the guys are cutting, they've got to allow that these bits might spring out and cause projectiles to head towards either themselves or to the patient. So we need to provide extra protection there as well.
Okay, now let's say, heaven forbid, but I'm driving down the road and there is an accident. I'm the first on the scene. What would you recommend someone like me or anybody else to do? What's some of the first things we should do?
Well, you won't have a full rescue kit, so that's not what I expect you to do. Certainly in the metropolitan area, an emergency crew is only 5 or 6 minutes away. The first thing you need to do is make sure the scene is safe for yourself. If there's a power line down, then all I can suggest is stay away from it.
Yeah.
But if you can stay away and talk to the people inside, tell them there's a power line down, stay where they are so they don't get into an unsafe situation. But if you can get to them, get as close as possible and see what the injuries are. A lot of instances people actually die because they've become unconscious and their head will be slumped forward and that will impede their breathing. And all you need to do is, if they're unconscious and that, is just place your hands either side of the head, lift the head back and just rest it against the headrest that they're already in. That will allow their natural breathing to occur and it will stabilise the neck against any further injury that might, should they have a neck injury. And that's all you need to do, and wait for the ambulance to come and take over.
Okay, with a mobile phone, the first number we ring is?
Or 000. We'll get any of the emergency services in anywhere in Australia. And usually with a mobile phone, they get lots of calls from people driving by. So there's usually no shortage of that. But it's people who know how to treat people, and that's why I recommended first aid. And that's usually all you need to do if they're breathing. If it's beyond that, then you've got to use your basic training, and any first aider knows about danger and response and airway, breathing and circulation. All those are the basic part of their training. But in most cases, if you just support the head, lift them back so that the natural breathing can take place. In most cases, that will save a lot of people.
Just calm them down. And something else you mentioned too, which I wouldn't have thought about, is try not to ask them questions where they're nodding yes or no, because obviously they may have some kind of an injury.
Yes. Yeah, if they've got a spinal injury or a neck injury, actually ask them, and if they try to give a positive response. So you actually need to take charge and say, listen, if you're okay, just blink your eyes. Don't move your head, because that might actually aggravate the problem they've already got. And then say support them in what they're doing.
And the other problem too, I suppose, I know like over in America and other countries where there's all the bloody ambulance chasers, and it's getting that way here unfortunately a little bit. You see someone's injured and you might go in and think you're helping them. How much do I have to worry about maybe this person suing me? I mean, or should you even worry about any of that?
If you're a trained first aider and you're doing what you're trained to do,
I'm talking about everyday Joe and Mary driving down the road.
In essence, if you're doing the best to your knowledge and you're not being negligent, then there's no case to answer.
Yeah, good. Because that's another question that someone may think about. I don't know if I should help them, because what if this person turns around and sues me?
Most people.
It's a sad state we're in, unfortunately.
Most people have had some form of first aid training, and providing they don't go beyond that and turn themselves into overnight surgeons, then they're okay.
Okay. And the other thing too with first aid, keep updating it too, because I know it's been some time since I've done it, and there's a lot to gain from that, a lot of benefits.
New skills come through all the time, and yes, keeping up to date with your CPR, those sorts of skills need to be practiced regularly.
Yeah, because mine go back to if you get snake bitten, you just chop the leg off.
Yeah, and as one of the current ads shows, you put a cool drink on it, that won't help either.
No, try not to do that. Thanks, Phil. Thanks once again.
Thank you, and thanks very much for coming down to the challenge.
No worries, and good luck to all the gang here from all over Australia. Just as we were walking around, I caught up with Phil again. Now, Phil, this is the Bacchus Marsh team?
Yes, from Victoria, a very experienced team, and it looked like they put some good experience into their activity right now.
And we see some Holdens being demolished here. Did Holden help you out with all this?
Holden did help us out, and I'm sure there's many people who would be crying if they could see these late model Commodores being cut up. But Holden do supply us with cars that are ex-test cars, and they allow us to use them for these sort of scenarios. It allows the crews the latest technology in cars to practice. It's one of the few times they get these sort of cars to practice on in real life, other than real accidents. And Holden have come to 20 cars for this event.
Okay. They don't have another one, do you, by any chance, Holden?
Sorry?
Just asking Holden if they've got another one.
Oh, they got plenty more.
Okay. Now, we see that you mentioned the newest cars, because obviously that's pretty important. I mean, many people do have the newer cars, and if you're only working on the older cars, how do you know where the right pressure points or the right points to take apart on?
Absolutely, pressure points, and also the latest technology in safety. We've got airbags. There's the steering wheel airbags, passenger airbags, and also the side airbags. There's also the seatbelt restrainers that have pyrotechnics involved. So there's a whole heap of...
Do actually seatbelt restrainers have pyrotechnics?
Yes, and that's part of all the things that the rescue technicians or the rescue people need to know about, so that they themselves don't become injured by any of these safety devices.
Okay, now we mentioned Holden. Now who else has been here helping you guys out?
We have a number of corporate sponsors. 3M is our major corporate sponsor, and we have Vodafone and Printtrek. They're the major corporate sponsors for the
FISA, I see FISA.
Well, FISA, Fire and Emergency Service Authority, is the governing body in Western Australia, the governing body for the fire services and the state emergency service and the volunteer marine group. But they're the body that's actually hosted the event. And so we're using the volunteers and staff of those organisations to make this event happen.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for that once again, Phil, and obviously thanks to Holden for helping out, because it's very important. And get involved if you want to, and let me just point out too, you get to wear really bright gear and some cool sunnies and a nice hat too, so give them a call at the SES if you want to have a go at it anyway. Yeah, I want to say big thanks to the SES people over there. That was fantastic, and I hope you picked up some clues there. Very important if you see a road accident or something like that to follow that procedure. And we're going to be obviously helping them out and looking for some more stories like that and helping you out. Okay, well, here I am in the Nerve Center. You can see the TV of what's on CTV, and there's all kinds of, hey, what's going on here? What are we doing? What's happening? We are going to a break. Okay, well, we're going to go to a break.
We're breaking. Hello, we're still at the CTV building, and I'm here with Action Man.
Howdy.
Now, Action Man, now what awards are you holding there?
We have 2 awards here. One's for the 1999 Best Entertainment, I think, and it's to One Surf. And there's another one here for 1999, and it's Best Documentary, and it goes to Artificial. So.
Okay, well, it
What's
wasn't
what
artificial, it was pretty real. Now, actually, now you want to ask me what my award I'm
Yeah, I want
holding?
to ask you what your award is.
Everybody get a close-up of this at home. This is the Balls and All Award. So everybody, Balls and All Award, and it's for the best community television show on the planet. No, I mean just in Australia. But that's a big award. We won it in our first year.
Of 2000.
It's 19. Oh, it's 2000.
It's
yes.
2000, see?
Oh, okay then. Depends on what headache pills you had. Now, actually, we have another story that we've done, and it's on ice hockey. Something I used to play as a young kid before I got beat up and they tried to knock out all my teeth, and I said I better go to another sport. Now this is ice hockey over at the Maribuka Ice Ring, and this is the Super League, so make sure you check it out. There's a lot of young budding talent there, and let's get behind them and support them. Hello, I'm Wayne, or at least I was the last time I checked, and I'm here at the Maribuka Skating Rink, and I'm here talking to Rob, one of the committee members and one of the faster growing sports here in Western Australia, ice hockey. How you doing, Rob?
Yeah, great, thanks, Wayne. How are you?
Tell us a little bit about the sport, Rob.
Well, ice hockey is a terrific sport. It's a really popular sport in North America. Canada, it's the national game of Canada. America, it's huge. The NHL is probably right up there with baseball and with basketball in terms of spectator sport in North America. And Europe also, huge.
Excellent. Now, here, if you could tell us a little bit about this league, like how many teams do you have?
Okay, here in Perth we've got 4 teams. 2 teams play up here at the Maribuka rink, and that's the West Coast Flyers and the Avalanche. And then down south at the Coburn rink we've got 2 teams also. That's the Wildcats and the Coburn Hawks.
Well, right now between you and me, Rob, which team is kicking a bit of butt?
Well, I'm a member of the Flyers club. So I must say that the Flyers are doing pretty well.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Now, let's say some young kids want to get involved in this sport. What would they need in terms of equipment?
Well, really, the main thing first off is to be able to skate. You know, you can't just step out on the ice and start playing ice hockey. It becomes very, very dangerous. So what I'd recommend to anybody first off would be, first of all, go and have some skating lessons. Both the Coburn rink and the Maribuka rink run regular skating lessons, and that's a great way to start. From there, what we have is called Beginners Clinic, and even at Beginners Clinic there's only very limited gear required. As soon as the child's got to a certain level, we then move them up to playing in a junior competition, and that's when we need helmets and all the protection.
Okay, now at the smaller levels, young kids just starting, is it basically non-contact at that level?
That's right. We play non-contact right up until under 15s. So yeah, but like many sports, it's not possible to keep it totally non-contact.
Well, when I was a boy, no, just kidding. When I was about young Liam's age, I was a superstar, at least in my own mind. But he really is. How you doing, Liam?
Fine.
Now, Liam, what school do you go to?
Sampson Primary.
That's good. Now, is there anybody you want to say hello to in the world of hockey?
Wayne Gretzky.
Wayne Gretzky. See, he already knows it at that age. Now, Liam, how long have you been playing hockey? It looks like you've been playing for years.
I've been playing for 2 years now.
2 years, and I see you've grown up big, strong, and you're 7 years old. Is that right?
Yes.
I must be psychic.
Uh,
Yeah. Okay. Now, what position do you play in hockey?
I play defense, left wing, right wing, and center.
Wow. So you kind of play all the positions.
Yes.
And the word is that you're a very great young player. Is that true?
Yes.
I like that. No lacking in confidence. Now, when you get a little bit older, where do you want to play?
NHL.
NHL. Okay. So that means you'll have to travel to the U.S.
Yes.
Now, who's your favorite team?
New York Rangers.
New York Rangers. That's a good town. New York, New York. That's where I'm from. Now, Liam, now is there anybody in school or you want to say hello to, or do you want to say hello to mom and dad?
Well, my dad's on the ice and my mum's down in the other rink. And I'd like to say hello to all my friends at school, and I hope you have a great night.
Well, thank you, Liam. You've been an outstanding interview, and we expect to see you in the NHL someday.
Yes.
All right, now give everybody your happy look. Thank you, Liam. Well, we're just a bunch of guys hanging out over at the Merribook skating ring. There's a game going on, which we'll get back to shortly, and I'm here with Tony Dockett. How you doing, Tony?
I'm well, Wayne. Yep, very well.
Now, a little bit cold here. Now, if you could tell us why you're here.
Well, I'm down here watching the Super League, West Coast Flyers versus Wildcats, and my son Josh, he's 18. He's playing for Flyers, and I'm watching the game.
All right, now, your son is a bit of a stud now. He's played for Australia how many times?
Yeah, Josh, he's played for Australia 3 times, twice for the under-18 Australian team, and once for the under-21s.
Okay, now when he played for them, what was the requirements to get into the team? I mean, what did he have to go through to make that level?
They had 1 week selection trials for each one of the teams, and they put them through a really heavy program. And there's about 30 kids, 30 young people attend that, and then they pick their final 15, and then they go off to a training camp for 2 weeks, and then they head off to, the first time was China, then the next time was North Korea, and then in the under-20s they played in Czechoslovakia. So they have to work pretty hard for it, plus play all year.
Wow. Now, to talk a little bit about that, now we know that you have to be a good skater to be an excellent player. Can you tell us a little bit about the sacrifices your son made what are some of the other things that you have to do to be a good player in hockey?
Attitude's everything. Attitude, he's got to be totally focused. I mean, all the things, from a parent's point of view, it's great. Because you get a kid who takes his sport seriously, drugs aren't an issue. Alcohol's not an issue. Smoking's not an issue. He's focused. It keeps him focused on working hard physically and mentally, and it just gets him organised. But he spends a lot of his time at the ice rink, so he hasn't got time for anything else.
Oh, okay.
Now he's got a girlfriend, so we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we figured that. I mean, we don't care how hard you work. There's always time for that. Now, anyway, what is his ambitions now? I mean, he's played for the national team. What does he want to do? Does he have any ambitions as far as going overseas and playing?
He would love to get to Canada. I mean, Canada at one level is the big thing, but he prefers Europe. He prefers playing hockey in Europe because the European style of hockey is what he prefers. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 12 months he'll be off to somewhere in Europe to try and get some semi-professional games over there. That's what he'd like.
Now, Tony, you've been around the sport for a while now, so you raised an interesting question, because everybody thinks, well, go to the USA if you want to be the great player and whatnot. Go to Canada, you want to be a great player. Now, Europe. What is the difference of style, say, the European style to, say, Canada or the U.S.?
Next time the Winter Olympics on, watch the ice hockey, because it's the Europeans who win, not the North Americans. North Americans are more into the big hit, macho, thump, bang, crash. Whereas if you watch the European style hockey, it is just beautiful skills. It's passing. They're hard, they're tough, but they're moving it in beautiful team hockey, passing, very good puck handling skills, and it's still physical, but less boom, crash, bang. But if you want the money, that's in North America. But if you want good hockey, that's in Europe.
Wow, that's a good point. So all you hockey superstars, just remember that. Now, okay, how did he get his sporting talent? Do you think you had something to do with that, Tony?
Of course, absolutely. No, I just wish I had found ice hockey when I was a kid. But his grandfather and his grandfather's sister back in Melbourne, back around the war, they were good skaters. They didn't play ice hockey, but they were figure skaters and dancers. So we figure that's where he's got the skating skill. He just looks like he was born to ice sports. Mind you, his big brother got into it first and got Josh into rollerblading when Josh was about 6. So he's always got something on his feet. He just knows how to do it.
Oh, excellent. Well, we're going to go out here and take a look at young Josh and the rest of the Flyers team. And thanks a lot, Tony.
Thanks very much, Wayne. And good luck with all the kids in the championships coming up.
Thank you. I want to thank everybody at the Ice Hockey for putting up with me. And we're going to have part 2 of that shortly in the coming weeks. And I just want to say that we're still at CTV. They've locked us in, so we're just rolling with the punches. Now, there's a show on Channel 31 called Flick Tease. Say it with me at home. And I'm here with young Ian. Okay, now how you doing, Ian?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Having a good time here. Just trying to get some editing done.
Okay, then, and I'm in the way as usual. Now, basically, could you tell us, other than the fact you got a cool jacket on, what do you actually do for Flick Tease?
I help out directing it while the guys are on the panel. I'm trying to switch the shots and make sure that's under control, and then afterwards we come in here to CTV and try to edit the thing together. So just trying to learn as we go here and see what we come up with.
And how long have you been involved in that juncture?
We just had our 50th show just last week, so that was really cool. We had a good time, and so maybe a year and a bit. It's gone past pretty quick, but we're all enjoying it.
Excellent. Now, could you tell maybe there's 1 or 2 people out there, there's probably not more than that don't know what your show's about. Could you tell us, those people, what your show is about?
All right, I've got a group of friends who love their movies, and any chance to talk about them, they'll take it. So if CTV and Access 31 came along, not only on the couch, they were wanting to put it out to everyone watching on telly as well. So it's a bit of a show about what movies are coming out, where those directors have been maybe, and lots of competitions. Yeah, mainly a movie review show.
Okay, now if you're talking about movies, I know Moose has a movie coming out called Jared Junction on Parade. Now, have you guys had a chance to review that yet?
Well, we know he's a fine director, so it's sure to be another classic.
Oh, okay then. I think it'll be a cult film. I like that. I've just been getting the finger. I hope it's the happy one. I hope it's the happy one at home. Anyway, I didn't give it. Now, getting involved in this, and who put a good show like Flick Tease together?
Gavin Bond's the main push for it, I guess, and John Poland's been pushing from the start, and Corrine Brown, Ronnie Poland, and Andre. We've got together with myself and just sort of let it evolve. So it's been fun taking it from just giving it a go, and hopefully each season trying to get a little bit better. And doing our first live show last week was a good laugh. So just the group of us pretty keen on sticking together and seeing where it heads.
Oh, that's good. I noticed you said a lot about pushing. I think if we get you guys and we get Tony Hasselbecker, we could have a rugby team together. So there's a lot of pushing going on. He usually pushes us around. So
you got to watch those tight ends.
Yeah, well, it probably hasn't been tight in a while. Now, anyway, what we're going to do now is we're going to go to what is commonly called a break. And thanks a lot, Ian.
My pleasure. Good on you.
Howdy everyone, welcome back from the break.
And we're out here standing on the corner of Francis and Museum Street. That's hard for us to tell. It's written on the signpost just above us. And you can see the beautiful Perth City, of course, the Princess City, I always reckon it is, behind us. And talking about princesses, we recently went down to Ballajura Indoor Cricket Centre, where they also play all kinds of other sports there. But we spoke to the Western Flames, so let's go have a look at that story. Hi everybody, it's Moose here, and I'm down at Ballajura Indoor Cricket Club, and it's a really cold night, and there's something that can help you out when you got a fire, you get the flames going, and that's just about who we're going to talk to, the Western Flames. Okay, now talking to some of the Flames, you can see some of the Western Flames here behind us. And I've got Joe here. Hi, Joe. Tell me, who are the Western Flames? To those who don't know, by the way.
Those who don't know, the Western Flames are the WA Ladies State Indoor Cricket Team.
Okay, and play against all the other states and also looking maybe national, is that right?
Yeah, each year there's national championships held. This year they're in Adelaide, and every state's represented, and the Western Flames are WA's representative team.
Okay, and then what I meant from there, is there an overall national team that goes away and plays other countries as well?
Yeah, from the national championships they select an Australian side, and then they go away and play at World Cups or other international events. Last year the World Cup was in South Africa, and so they selected them. I think this year they're going to New Zealand.
Excellent, excellent. And we got the coach here, Graham Butler. Hey Graham, how are you?
Good, thanks Moose.
Now tell us a bit about the Western Flames and a little bit of their history and so on, please.
Okay, as Joe said, Western Flames were basically introduced, we got together last year and we thought we need to give them an identity, so we did that and we came up with the Western Flames. Just to that, the ladies are sort of like starting to die off a bit in indoor cricket in WA. It's,
I think you've dropped your ball. Oh, they picked it up.
It's very difficult in WA. There's no funding or anything else like that, so myself and Joe got together and thought we'll give it a good effort here, and we're sort of like in a rebuilding stage. This year in the side, we've basically got a really good mix of youth and some experienced players. We've got 3 players that actually played for Australia before, and I was just doing some sums today, and basically within the team we've got basically 300 games experience in nationals against all other states, and I think this year we should go really well. We've probably got...
You keep losing your balls, mate.
It's a bit of a problem. Yeah, so...
Just let your voice go a little bit deeper now.
Yeah, so I think we've got a good side, and we're really got a good feeling about this year, and we should go really well.
Now, with the team, how is this the whole team that's here, Joe?
Yeah, basically this is our final team. We've had a squad that's been training, and this is the final team that'll be going away.
Okay, now when you guys kind of run the team together, is that right, or is it basically Graham's the big kahuna, the Gary Pudney of the crew?
Yeah, well, Graham's the big kahuna, but it's sort of a joint effort, as Graham said, that we just decided last year because it was sort of falling away a little bit. So I took on more of a coordination role, and Harry sort of obviously is the coach, but he does a lot of work off the field as well. So we sort of did joint effort, I guess.
So when you put the team together, which is what I'm trying to get at, what do you look for? Because obviously they all have to mesh together. You're trying to look for people who are performers and all that kind of stuff. What is it you really look for?
I'll probably get Graham to answer.
It's yours.
Basically, what we'd basically...
They're throwing the balls at you. This is called players' revenge.
Yeah, basically what we're after, we're basically get a good combination of some experience, and as well as bring up some of the younger girls. This year we got 3 young girls, particularly that are in our side. One girl's just turned 18, first year indoor cricket, but she's got immense talent, and that's what we basically look for. And another girl went away last year and played all games and played really well. And another one of the girls is also going away for a second time this year. So it's very important that we bring the youngsters on for the future, not just for this year, but for next year and everything else. So, and just to give a bit of an insight in indoor cricket, Australia is basically the current world title holders in both men and women. I think the World Cup's been going for about 10 or 12 years now, and Australia have only ever lost one test match in the world to another country. I think that was one last year to South Africa, but they're still the World Cup title holder. So Australian indoor cricket is well advanced than everyone else in the world. So when they play at the national competition, it's probably one of the best competitions they're going to get in the world. So it's very, very important that they represent their state, and it's a very high standard. So yeah.
Well, that's excellent. And as West Australia, now you say you really just kind of regrouped more or less last year and created the Flames and got all this happening. But how do you feel our standing is? Because you're just about to get into your season, really. This is a training session tonight.
Yeah, I think we're going to be very competitive. It has been a rebuilding phase over the last couple of years. Last year we actually probably exceeded expectations. We only just missed out on making the finals, and so that was sort of a little bit better than what we expected to do. And so this year we're certainly confident that we'll be very competitive against especially the strongest states, Queensland, New South Wales. And obviously our main aim is to get into the finals, and then once you get there, who knows.
Now you're the captain of the team, and as a captain player, because obviously part of going away is, as I say, everyone meshing together and working together. How do you feel they're all fitting in? Because only 3 have actually been together as of last season. Is that right? Only 3 or?
Yeah, there's a few more. There's probably about probably about a quarter of the team. Basically, we're there last year, but we do have some new girls in. So I guess as captain, it's just important that you try and make sure that everyone's pretty happy with the way things are going, and there's a good feeling in the team. Obviously, on the field, everyone can go in and be focused on the game, but we also have to be working fairly well as a team. So I think that's sort of my major role, certainly on the court and off the court as well.
And I've noticed too that in this game, being involved with the Indoor Cricket Super League, which is played on Saturday at 7:30 now on Access 31, something I noticed too is there's a lot of excitement, and none of that, but not only in here, but the people standing outside get pretty fiery about things too.
I think the nature of the game, I think that sort of engenders that it's fast and the skill level is very high, especially once you get to Super League and obviously Nationals level. So it's an exciting game to watch, and because you are enclosed in the net and there's 8 people fighting against 2
Looking at the fishbowl.
Yeah, that's it. The atmosphere and I guess the intensity is always really high. So from in the court, that's there, and then obviously people outside the court watching. It's very easy to sort of get into the game.
It's not gender biased either. When the women get in, they're just as exciting and as aggressive, a lot better to look at from a male point of view, when they're actually playing. I mean, the intensity's there just as much.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're here because we enjoy the game and we want to win basically. So of course the intensity is as high as the guys.
As you can make it now. Harry, I keep hearing your name called. I was told. Okay, we want to ask Harry Buckle.
It's Butler. That's it. Second name Butler. So Harry's.
Harry Butler. All right, got it. Now tell me, young girls out there saying, I'd like to get to this level. How do they go about it?
Yeah, well, both Joe and I are basically mixed up in Ballajura, and if anybody wants to, they can either ring Ballajura Indoor Cricket Centre and they can pass their details on to myself or Joe. I go down and watch Super League quite often. I watch the girls, and we've identified some talent. Just at the moment, there's a girl from Port Kennedy that's playing. I think she's playing Super League. She's probably only 12 years old.
So. Scouting all the time.
Yeah, we constantly. What happens if we see anybody that we recognise as a bit of a talent, we usually try and give them a letter, have a bit of a talk to them, and just say where we're at, and if you like, come down to training, and we'll go from there. So always looking out for talent. Anybody wants to come down, and more than welcome.
Okay, well, all the best to the girls this year, and obviously to you for coaching. And Joe, go kick some butt.
We'll do our best.
Yeah, well, thanks very much to the Western Flames, a bunch of beautiful ladies. And I tell you what's a lot more interesting. I know there's the indoor cricket show, which we do on a Saturday afternoon.
Is that at 7:30? It comes on
7:30, but it's also on 3 when the Ashes are on. But the women, I don't know. I'm weird. Maybe I don't know what the problem is.
You kind of say straight out you like women.
Yeah, I'm kind of that way,
That clears that up.
Yeah, now, Wayne, what's this giant monstrosity of a building behind us?
Well, this is called a museum. Now, most people don't know what a museum is, but a museum is a place where you store things that need to be stored, and a kind of museum.
Right.
How the heck are you?
Now, the museum, I don't know if you've been down here. It's just not far from Wellington.
What's the name of the museum?
It's called the Perth Museum, I think.
I thought it was Sydney or so. I don't know.
Fantastic things in there, and I don't know how long it's been since you've been there. It's been a while since I've been there, but there's some unbelievable things in there. Go down and have a look.
I'm in there now. I'm in the fossil collection.
Yes, way up top
Old
is
as heck.
this giant whale bones. Wayne is the third on the left. Okay.
Yeah,
anyway.
bone is good.
And
Now,
there's the floor with all the Aboriginal stuff in there. It's fantastic. Go in and have a look. Okay, well, we're going to be talking about bones, which I'm just going to help Wayne out with. We're going to be taking a break.
swing!
Okay, yeah, welcome back, everybody. It's still, what's name? And Moose here. And,
Thanks a lot, Moose.
You've seen the museum, and now we're looking down the street here. What's this, Lake Street, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's Lake Street.
Lake Street. Actually, we were at the other end last time you saw the show when we raided the El Toro restaurant. Remember
We
that?
sure did, and we tore that baby up.
That was pretty good fun anyway.
Yeah, and the food was fantastic, so make sure you get down there.
Get down there, have a good time. Anyway, look, here it is. This is kind of like the, I don't know, it used to be almost the Italian section of Perth years ago. Now it's become almost the Asian section of Perth. A lot of great restaurants and a lot of nightlife here.
Great food, beautiful nightlife.
Of course, we're really talking about Northbridge in general, and a lot of great stuff happens here. Plus,
we're here.
And we're here as well.
And that's great.
That's great. Is it?
Yeah, it's good.
Okay.
Everybody's seen the happy song at home.
Let's go to the story. Let's go have a look at the story. We'll be right back. Hi, now I'm talking to Bruce Grasso, and he's the president here, and that's easy to remember his name because it's printed right there. This is a good tip for you, Wayne. Now, Bruce, tell us, when someone comes down, what kind of things can they look forward to here at the Video Club?
Well, what they're going to look for, a lot of confusion, a lot of frustration as they try and come to grips with the new technology that's floating around these days.
Now, we've seen one of your movies earlier. You and your wife, I think, put together. She narrated it. How long have you been involved with all this?
I've been involved in the club for about 18 months, that's all.
Oh, really?
I've been making movies for about 30 years. I was with the club in 1970 for about 2 years, and then my family pulled me away from it. Now I've got rid of my 8 kids, I can get back to doing it.
Did it get to be an obsession, did it?
Yeah, it has. So now the kids are gone, I've got the time to get back into the hobby.
Now, some of the things you've seen over the years, well, you've only been a couple years there and recently, but you've been looking through a lot of the tapes. What are the kind of things that attract your eye as a movie maker or a video maker?
I think people should do what they enjoy doing. It's a hobby. If you don't enjoy doing it, there's no sense in having a hobby. Forget about the competition part of it and just do the best you can, and you'll win anyway. You win the hearts of your friends and neighbours.
Sounds like a TV show I know about. Now, what subjects do you look forward to as let's say, as a movie maker? Now, we've seen the one you did there earlier. What other kind of things have you done, maybe?
Done comedies, very embarrassing comedies.
I know about that as well.
A few documentaries. We try just about anything. I mean, my repertoire is fairly wide. I'm not scared to try something, even though it embarrasses me from time to time. No.
Now, with the new equipment you've got here, what will that open up to you?
It'll take all the frustration of breakdowns away from us. It becomes very frustrating, particularly in competitions when people put 10, 15, 30 hours work into a video and all of a sudden the equipment breaks down. It becomes very frustrating, and Kim, our projectionist, has been abused on many occasions because of the equipment. That's the biggest bonus.
That's the big basket of raw tomatoes we see outside there.
Yeah, I brought them.
Now, thanks for that. Interviews and autographs later. Now, with the people that come down here, you've got roughly about 50 members here. There's another one in Bull Creek, another one in Morley. Do they all kind of get together with a big competition that happens, I think, in December?
No, not for as far as that's concerned. We get together on a lot of the excursions and photo shoots, etc. But the competition we run in December is mainly an internal club competition.
Fantastic. Some of the stuff I've seen here tonight, as I said earlier to Murray, could easily be put together, and I'm sure there's a lot of the viewers out there wouldn't mind having a look, especially like we've seen the, I think it was in Switzerland, the Alps there, and the beautiful flowers and all that kind of stuff. Just amazing stuff.
Look, we'd like to show it to... Our big problem is we can't show very much on TV because of the copyright problem. But some of our members are starting to use their own music, and I'm sure we're going to hit the big screen soon.
Like the country music one. We're going to actually, we've actually spoke to them in a show coming up. We're actually going to be playing that, so that's quite funny.
That's going to go really well with our membership.
That's right. It'll go well with Balls Long because that looks like a Balls Long crew. Thanks very much for talking to us. Congratulations to your club here, and let's hope that if you want to get involved and get to know a little bit more about video making, or even just want to come down and socialise and get to meet them, and you get to watch some pretty darn good movies too. Come down and see them here at the Video Club.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, here we are. And Wayne, where are we? Oh, by the way, thanks to everyone at the Video Club. Don't forget, get involved. There's also one in Morley, one in Bull Creek, as I said. And
they're always looking for people.
It was great. I mean, they come down, they make their movies and show them. It's great.
That's excellent. Fantastic.
Now, where are we, Wayne?
Well, actually, it's good that we know where we're at. So we're at the State Library Shop, which is around TAFE, which is also near You guessed it, CTV!
And the museum. And, of course, you see the beautiful Princess City, Perth, behind us.
Which
And this
actually
is the
makes us look
library.
better, Moose.
Now, Wayne, have you ever been to the top floor of the library here?
It was a couple of times. A couple of loan sharks wanted to push me off the building, but I said, no, I'm going to be smarter than
It's funny how many people out there will find that easy to believe. Now, actually, on the top floor, I don't know if they charged for it, but years ago anyway, when I came here last time, and I should
When
be
I
here-
was a boy.
When I was a boy.
1921.
I know my gridiron team, the Broncos, is going, oh, we've heard that before. On the top floor, you can go there. Not only is some great, of course, it's a great library, but on the top floor, they have all the old newspapers on tape, reel-to-reel tape.
Wow.
And you can actually see all the old headlines. I think some of them go back to the 1800s. So very interesting. On a Sunday, you're looking for something to do, come down to the library and have a wander through and look through. It's fantastic, the stuff they've got here.
And the only prerequisite is you need to know how to read, which myself and...
No, Wayne, people like you can, because there's a lot of pictures.
Oh, okay, well,
Yeah,
I'm all
really
right
good.
then. Hey!
Okay, well, talking about someone who's been out there headbutting, not talking about the gridiron, I'm talking about the West Australian schoolboys taking on all the other states in rugby, and they did very well, as you're going to see. Let's go and have a look at this story. Hi, well, I'm here now having a chat with a couple of the coaches here. Brad Hopes, hi, Coach. How are you?
How you going? Good, thanks. Good.
Good. And we got Jim Toohey. Hi, Jim.
How you going, mate? All right?
Now, tell us a little bit about the team, how they're looking so far.
It would look like we're very competitive. We've had a game against one of the Pool A sides on Thursday night, and we achieved what we aimed to do, and I think we'll go all right.
And the team as a whole, Coach, how do you feel they're all shaping up?
Yeah, they're good. They're a couple of little injuries we've got at the moment that we've just got to find out who's in and who's out of the final squad. But other than that, yeah, they've done everything we could have asked so far. They've done really well.
Now, you've got about 20 young guys there to choose from, and when you say the final squad, but if someone is carrying a little bit of an injury to begin with, they heal up better, obviously you try to rotate them a bit?
Yeah, well, you can use, in the schoolboy championships, you can use all 20, only 13 on the field at one time, of course, but unlimited interchanges. So you can bring a kid on and you may sort of rotate a little bit so that you'll give some guys a bit of a break during the week. It's a long week, and 5 games in 5 days or 6 days. So it's a lot of work, so you need to rest and rotate a little bit.
Now, the guys actually had a bit of a trial game last night, as you mentioned, and just how did you feel they're gelling together? Because really the boys come from all different schools all over the area. How do you feel they're going?
That's correct. Yeah, all the boys do come from different schools. We have a majority of them come from Arramore College, which they went away last week to Confraternity Shirley in Queensland, and that helps the gelling process a great deal. But having said that, we've done a few things last night that just goes to show that they've been training together for 4 or 5 months now, and that they do know each other inside out, personally and team-wise.
That's fantastic, because that's so important, as you know, Coach. Now, once they obviously win the trophy here and all that, because we're West Australian, we're going to see them do that. But what's the future? Where are they going from here, type of thing?
Well, there's quite a few kids here that have already got talent scouts in from the NRL clubs that are having a look at them now, and the week itself there'll be scouts from all the clubs, player managers. And normally the Pool B sides, which we're in, don't attract that much attention. But this year I think we have got a couple of kids that have won out of the box, and I know that there's one in particular that there's a fair bit of interest in the East right now for him, and just be interesting to see how it develops.
Do you think maybe the future may hold that we might end up having another team here, maybe like the Reds used to be here? You think that may happen in the future?
Well, I hope so. Jimmy and I were both involved there with the Reds in different capacities, and it was great fun and it was good for the state, and we had a good time, and certainly the Rugby League public of WA enjoyed it, and I'd like to think that sooner or later it'll happen. I just don't know how far away it'll be.
Good. Well, thanks very much. All the best to the boys, and good luck to you guys too. I know you put in a lot of effort, and let's hope the big trophies West Australia is at the end.
Thanks very much.
Thanks a lot to all the people down at the Rugby Club. We want to thank you for your support. There was great support there, and a great support for the CNI Dogs. So keep supporting them with your donations. Now, Action Man, where are we at now?
Well, earlier in the show, I was talking to Simon, and he mentioned PICA, and that's where we are. And
what does PICA stand for?
The Perth Institute of Contemporary Art.
That was beautiful.
James would love this, although he's in Malta.
Why?
We're at 51 James Street. Now, 51 is his gridiron number. And
yes.
His name's James.
That's very good now. Now, that's a good point. Now, before we go to the story, and which story are we going to next?
I would not have a clue.
Well, that's not really a good thing.
So where are we going? We're
going to a break. Now, we're going to sing you guys into the break because this is PICA. P-I-C-A. So now we got to say, it's fun to stay at the P-I-C-A. It's fun to stay at the P-I-C-A. You can have some good fun. You can have a great time. You can even do the howdy dance. We're breaking.
Yeah, thanks everyone, and also thank Action Man and Wayne for that great song. I'm sure it'll come out on CD one day, and luckily maybe their mum or someone might buy it. I doubt it. Anyway, we're still wandering around the city as you saw us last time, and now when you're not in the city, you might want to go out and be in the bush, and you want to make sure that you've got all the right gear with you. While we were out with the Bush Perceptions people, I walked around and had a good chat there with the people there, and they showed us how they set up their trailer when they go away. And it's very interesting for anybody who might be wanting to travel around Australia or just go for a nice holiday. Let's have a look at the story. Okay, just while everyone's having a cup of tea and that, I'm going to have a chat with Des because the rig they've got set up, it might be interesting to you. Hi, Des, how are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Now, tell us a bit about what we got. Now, we've just come down. We followed you in your vehicle there, and we've seen this is actually normally in the state it's now, but up on the flat of the roof when you're driving, so it's actually charging all the time.
That's correct, yeah. Normally we have it on the top of the roof with the tables and everything else, so it's always charging while the sun's out. It's charging. What happens with the two panels, sun goes through those, charges down into a deep cycle battery through a small computer system there.
We'll follow you along and you have a look, because this is connected up via cable, of course.
Cable across here. It comes into the trailer and it comes in via this here. Don't know if you can see that there very well.
Yeah, I think you can get that. Now tell us what that is.
Okay, on there's 3 different readings come out of there all the time. It tells you the state of the battery, which is the deep cycle battery.
How much? We see 13.6, now we see 6.4.
6.4 is how much the panel is actually putting in, and at the moment there's no draw because the fridge is turned off. But we'll just the end jaw. I'll just fire it up there now, just so that it'll draw in a sec. So we go back through. And the fridge itself now is drawing 4.5 amps.
Okay.
And that's running on freeze at the moment, that fridge, and that'll run for 24 hours of the day with this one battery, which is around the front.
So we've got just a normal car battery,
it's a deep cycle battery, very similar to, you can just use it in a car battery, or you can just use a car battery, but this one is specially designed for charging up and then drawing a lot of amps on it and discharging. And that it's designed to
just come over here, just get show down there. We've got a battery connected up with the cable. So the solar panels, BP solar panels, sitting on top there, bringing in the charge as you're driving. Obviously they're held down, don't want them blown away.
That's correct, yes.
Charging through to your battery. Now, is that battery also connected to your vehicle at all?
Yeah, that can be. If we do need extra power, there's another lead up the front here, which is here on the drawbar, which plugs into the back of the vehicle, which goes through into the alternator system of the vehicle then, and the alternator on the vehicle can actually charge back up through into this battery here, charge that up. If for some reason, say we get a very overcast day where there's no sun at all, the panels won't work. So so as we're travelling along, then we charge the battery to the fridge via the alternator in the car.
But even in cloudy skies?
Even in cloudy situations and overcast days, the panel will produce a small amount of amps, which is enough to run the fridge.
Okay, now tell us a bit about your rig. Now I notice you got the shade cloth right around everything here too. What's the reason for that?
The reason for the shade cloth is to stop stones and that protection on the front of the vehicle, the front of the trailer, to stop the paint and chips and that. And also when you're on really gravelly roads and what have you, what happens, a lot of stones come up off the vehicle and they come up and hit the trailer, and a lot of people that have towed on the gravel and that will know, stones come up, hit the trailer and actually bounce back and break a back window in your vehicle.
Okay, right.
And that with the shade cloth, it actually cushions the stones and they all fall to the ground.
Okay, now I see a pipe sticking out over there. What's all
that pipe, that's for, We've got 2 water tanks underneath, 2 80-litre water tanks down underneath, and also we carry another. So that's 160 litres underneath the vehicle, and then we carry another 100 litres inside the vehicle in the small water containers, as you can see on the
you're
guard
very
there.
serious, obviously, about your water when you go away.
Yeah, water's one of the most important things in this sort of thing. It's very important to keep drinking and things, and we sort of need plenty. Some of the places we do go doesn't have real good quality water, so we tend to take our own.
Taste a bit leafy, some of the water?
Some of the water's not real average at all, but it is drinkable.
Now, something you mentioned too about having the solar panels is not to actually mount them permanent on any vehicle, and the reason for that?
Yeah, the reason for not mounting them on the top of the vehicle is because when you pull up, especially in a place like we're here today where there's some nice shady trees, the first thing you want to do is set your camping gear up underneath a shady tree rather than in the sun. So therefore, if your panels are actually fixed to the vehicle, they won't produce any sunlight or won't get any sunlight. So it's pretty important. This one here's got around about 20 feet of lead on it, so that we just run the lead out and sit them down in the sun.
Yeah.
And also, if you do have the problem with a real flat battery, if you follow the sun around during the day with your panels as on an angle and catch the full face of the sun, they actually produce more sun or produce more amperage as well. So it's
obviously follow the sun.
Yeah. Just
now, what's this here? What do we see here?
Yeah, this here is a HF radio, or commonly known as the Flying Doctor service.
Okay.
That has the Flying Doctor channels in it. It also has a four-wheel drive or Australian four-wheel drive organisation channels in it. They have sked checks every morning, which is they have an operator come on at 7 in the morning out of Perth. And at lunchtime they have one out of Sandstone, and then in the afternoon they have another one out of Perth, and if you're travelling in the outback, you can actually log into them, providing you're a member, which is only a small fee, and they will keep check with you. Just call in as you're leaving home, tell them where you're going and what you're doing and how long you're going to be and what have you, and then from day to day you can call in and say, yeah, I'm okay, or if you do have a problem, you can call them up their channels.
The coverage of this is?
The coverage is pretty much about 1,000 k's, I suppose, depending on the sky and the atmospheres of the day. Okay. But then with something like this one, this has a lot of different channels in it. You can flick through the channels and actually find a channel which will receive. And also with the four-wheel drive organisation, they do have bases all over Australia now, sort of. So you can always pick up someone and that. And also if you can't happen to pick up a base, there's like a lot of members now, and there's a lot of members listening all day. And
if not, just get a mirror. I've seen this, and just wangle it around in the sun. Hopefully, someone will see it. Now, what else have we got here? I see you got your swag on top, and
just a swag on top at the moment. Sort of, it tends to be my main accommodation. We travel around a fair bit,
fantastic.
And that's the easiest.
You hate it, don't you? Really?
Oh, yeah, I really hate it, but that's. It's a really comfortable way of travelling, and that is easy to roll out.
All right, I'll get our cameraman to move back a bit, and we'll just have a look if he can just move back a bit. I'll just try not to step on the cord as we're going. We had a wireless mic, but for some reason we picked up a bit of a hum out here. Must be the solar panel, that's what it is.
That's what it is. Maybe it's that generator that's running.
Now I'm told this is your favourite part of camping, is that right?
Oh, that's right, because I always seem to get to do the washing up every night, and day, morning and afternoon, so... it was a little bit higher for my own use, and then we were doing a lot of school camps, so I dropped it down. I thought that'd be great, all the school kids will do it, but it didn't.
You're still stuck.
Still stuck with it, so now I bend over and end it with a backache. But
now here we got, that's the only reason why I don't do dishes at home either, because of that, the back problem. And now we have
the gas ring on the ground down here. Most of the places now, we cook mainly with gas and that.
Fire bans?
Yeah, especially the fire bans in national parks and things like that. Open fires, you've only allowed to light them in special pits that they have designed now, so it's much easier.
This is the toilet here, is it?
No, this is just the hand washing basin.
You should have told me before.
Yeah. You mean you've used it already? Gosh, I could tell you a joke about that, but I won't. But no, hand washing is pretty important out here because you get pretty dirty and what have you and before your meals and what have you to wash. So we just have soap here and a little pump.
Yeah.
Just wash your hands as in yay.
I wouldn't put my hands in there.
No, I'm only going to put one in there. I'll keep one good one.
That's
But
right.
you never ever put both hands in and wash all the soap off. You always wash outside here like that.
Okay.
And that way then you're not leaving all the dirt in the thing. And that way you can get a lot longer life out of your water and it doesn't
Okay.
become dirty. Okay.
All right, now what do we got going over here? We got the couple tables here.
Okay, then around this way here we have all this. Yeah, we have the tables set up.
These are the right height, I noticed.
Yes, the right height for working, what have you. And that just have two tables here. One is normally for prep table. The other one is for serving on and that.
And a bit of an awning.
Yeah, an awning there is pretty important to keep the cook happy and under the shade and what have you, and also the participators and that, so you can actually have a meal and if there's a fair bit of shade out the back there.
See, now my belief is, and I always get picked on about this when I go camping and bush, because I usually take a van and a mattress in the back and everything. No, Tellies.
Three-star accommodation.
Yeah. I always believe, you don't need to suffer. I mean, really, we live, we live in the year 2001.
Yeah.
Hey? You sleep with him. Okay.
Yeah.
Just dobbed her in there.
Yeah.
Because we were talking about suffering. And so we've got a couple tables here. So here's your silverware and everything. Food over there.
Food there, over there, and all the food products and fridge and what have you is inside there, so it's easy enough to serve up and that.
What's something that would be really important? Let's say someone's starting off thinking, I want to go maybe traveling a little bit either around Australia or up north or whatever. What would be something that you'd say is one real necessity other than water? Well, that's been preached to us pretty hard today, but other than water, what's something else that really is a really good thing to bring along with you?
I think the next important thing with any camping is shelter, and that once you have your water, you need shelter somewhere to sit out of the sun and what have you, but something that's fairly easily to put up. This awning here takes one person maybe 3 to 5 minutes to put up, and it's nice shade. It keeps the sun off, and also if it's wet or that, you can actually sleep underneath it, and so I think that's the next important thing. And then after that comes all the other comforts, as in a swag with a electric mattress and things like that.
And you don't need a TV. You don't need a TV.
No TV. But no, I think.
Why would you want a television when you got all this to look at anyway?
Yeah, sort of. And the other thing is that we forgot to mention when we were around there with the solar panels, we use all low amperage lights, fluorescent lights, and that. We have 3 fluorescent lights, which one goes over the dishwashing area there, which is my area, and we have another one around here on the eating, and one just outside there where the people sort of sit around, and they also run off that deep cycle battery, and we can run them for around about 6 hours every night without any problems at all with the battery, and I think that's pretty important. You need light, but you don't need super serious light, especially living out here in the bush, because
usually if you've got a bit of a campfire going, which when it's not fire ban,
that's correct.
Usually you kind of, after you've eaten whatever, you usually want to turn them off and just either look into the fire, and you can do some marvellous things by looking into the fire with your mind and what have you, or just looking or your eyes.
Yeah, your eyes, and or looking up at the stars and what have you. Sort of.
That's the other thing, that when you're used to being in the city and you come out somewhere like Dwelling Up, or get away from the haze of the city, or the aura, whatever, of the lights there, it's amazing the sky we have.
That's correct. Yeah, because once you get out of the city, you don't have any of the light pollution like the street lights and that, which don't show up the atmosphere as well. But once you get out here and turn all your lights off, you get beautiful skies.
First thing, usually if you bring little kids out who've always lived in the city or whatever, first thing they usually say at night is, gee, look at the sky.
Yeah, that's right, because they don't realise, because there's so much light around, they don't tend not to look up in the sky at all. But sort of you come out here, and of course, first thing you do, as you say, is look up there, and it's just
see all the falling stars and everything.
Lights and what have you. Yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for that. All right, we're going to be catching up a little bit more and see what's next, where we're going to be catching up with Jane. Thanks a lot, Des.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. Now, here we are, and I'm actually talking to the guy. We had to drag him out behind the camera, and his name's Steve Giles. Hi, Steve. How are you?
Good, thank you, Moose. Okay.
Good. We have to teach him how to do this thing here. Now, Steve, as you know, we've been saying on the show you want to be a reporter for the week. Well, James is gone. Wayne's still with us, unfortunately. I started to say Wayne, didn't I? And we got a very special guest going to tell us a little bit about fly fishing. So who's our special guest?
Well, the special guest is actually my daughter Sarah. She actually interviewed me doing fly tying.
Fly tying?
That's
And
right.
also you're a member of the WATFA, is that right? West Australian?
Trout and Freshwater Angling Association.
Okay, and of course you guys get together and go and do all your bits and pieces all over the place?
That's right, all over Western Australia.
Okay, so we're dragging him out in front of the camera, and so thanks for that, Steve. And of course, let's have a look at Sarah's story where she's interviewing Dad.
Hi, I'm Sarah Giles and I'm the Balls and All reporter for the week, and I'm just here today with my dad, Stephen Giles, the cameraman for Balls and All. I'm just going to talk about his interests in fly fishing. So would you like to tell us how you're involved with that?
Yeah, I've been involved now for over 6 years, and I'm currently Vice President of the West Australian Trout and Freshwater Angling Association here in Perth.
Okay, would you like to tell us whereabouts you fish, and is there any specific, like certain places that you go down to fish? Or?
Well, I fish anywhere between Maroona and Pemberton. We have several lakes and rivers around the area that we can fish for trout.
Do you need a licence to fish there, or?
Yes, we do. We need a freshwater licence, which is $15 from your local post office.
So is fly fishing a sport or is it a hobby, or?
It's a bit of both, really. Some people class it as a pure sport. My hobby is actually tying the flies as well, so I take a great interest in that.
Did you want to tell us a bit about how you tie flies, or?
Well, yeah, there's the particular one we have in front of us here, which is the stonefly nymph, which took me about 2¼ hours to tie my very first one, and now this takes me about just under an hour to tie now, so there's quite a bit of work involved in it, so yeah.
Okay, so can you show us a few of other different flies and why you use flies instead of like bait like worms, or?
Well, the reason we're using a fly is to try and represent the insect that we're hoping the trout will take. I've got spider pattern, I've got what's called a muddler, a little bug or beetle, and the current one I'm tying at the moment is a what's called a hanger wing gambesi, which represents the one of the little fish here in Perth, which was introduced some while ago.
So what materials do you use to make these flies?
Well, I'm using natural feathers from certain birds, and possum fur, kangaroo fur. These are all bred animals, especially for the materials.
So are the materials expensive or are they cheap to buy? Or?
It really depends what you're trying to get. The possum fur that I buy is probably about $3 or $4, but the jungle cop cape that I picked up was about $250 to buy. So it depends how avid you are and how far you want to get into it, really.
So do you teach people how to do these flies, or you just make them for yourself? Or?
I show members of our club how to tie flies. I've put an article in our freshwater magazine that we put out once every 2 months. I've advertised the fact that I would show people how to tie them if they wish to do so.
Have you got a number for people interested in doing that? Or?
Yes, we do. It's best to get in touch with our club about any information, whether it's fly tying, fly fishing, and that'll be our secretary's number, which is Wally McKoviak, and he's on 92917534.
And is there any cost involved, or?
He will send out an information pack all about the club. That doesn't actually cost you anything, but there is a cost in joining the club, and it depends whether you just want to join as a single person or as a family. For an average person, it's about $50–70 a year to join the club.
Do you get all different ages turning up to the club? Or?
Yes, we've got some people who are 8 or 9 years old actually fly fishing and learning how to fly fish, and up to retirement age and above, obviously. So there's all sorts, and we have some women members of our club as well. So it's not just a male-orientated sport.
So what's the difference between freshwater fishing and saltwater fishing?
Well, saltwater fishing, they basically use like a bait or burley, whereas I'm using a fly to represent the insect that the trout may actually go for. So that's the main difference. But you can saltwater fly fish as well. So they're using flies out there that represent the bait fish that some of the saltwater fish might take. So there is that side to it as well.
So do you fish all year round, or is there certain seasons you can fish in?
There is a season for some areas, like some of the rivers and some of the lakes and dams, and the season goes from the 1st of September to the 30th of April, and then it's closed between the 30th of April and to the 1st of September, obviously. But even when those lakes and rivers are closed, there are other dams and that are actually open all year round that we can fish, and the club has its own dams which we go down to Pemberton and fish.
So what's the most prized fish, like most popular fish?
Well, there isn't a really popular one. The brown is the most prized fish, the brown rainbow, but we've also got redfin and rainbow trout in our dams.
Do you have any competitions to?
We have competitions throughout the year. We also have fly tying nights, video nights. We have guest speakers at our club, and this is held. Our club holds its meetings every second Tuesday of the month at the WA Rowing Club along the Esplanade.
Okay, Dad, we can see this vice next to you here. Would you like to tell us its purpose?
Well, basically the vice is used for holding the hooks whilst we tie a fly. So if I put this fly already tied earlier into the vice, I can hold it very taut whilst I'm actually tying materials on. I can also spin the fly around so I can see exactly what I'm doing when I actually tie the fly. And it's very helpful having this white background. That also helps with me being able to see what I'm tying very well, because some of the insects are very small.
So with the small insects, obviously there's small hooks with it, is there?
That's sizes? Right. The hook sizes vary on the insect you're trying to represent, because you're actually tying the fly the same size as the insect or fish that you're actually trying to copy.
Okay, is there any time difference in doing your smaller flies from your larger ones?
Not really, it just depends on the amount of materials they actually put into tying the fly. The small pupa I have down here has only got about 2 different materials in it, whereas the Mrs. Simpson I have has about 7 or 8, and there's actually 6 individual feathers on the outside of the fly, so it takes a long time to tie it. The real long ones are the crocheted ones, because I actually crochet them, which takes a very long time to do.
Yeah, have you got any advice to any of the girls or guys out there that might like to learn how to fly fish or tie flies?
Well, basically to get in touch with the club, Watford. So any information they want to know, or meet anybody, or learn fly fishing themselves, it doesn't matter whether young or old, we'll accept anybody. And the thing is just to get in touch with Wally Makoviak on 9291 7534, and they'll pass you on the information that you require.
Alright, thanks Dad for talking today. Okay, I'd just like to thank my dad, Stephen Giles, for the story today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you'd like to contact Watford, just ring the number at the bottom of the screen. I all think you'll agree with me, he's a bit better behind the camera than in front of it. I'd just like to say hi to all my friends at Linwood Senior High School, and I'm Sarah Giles, and I've been your reporter for the week on Balls and All, and I've had a lot of fun.
Yeah, I want to say a big thanks to Sarah for getting involved. Don't forget, if you want to be a reporter of the week, email us or write us, P.O. Box 431, details on the screen right now. Email us or write us. Come down and be a reporter for the week on Balls and All. You have a good time, have a bit of fun. Pick a story that you like to do, and provided it can go to air, of course, we'll be happy to put that on. Now, Steve, WATFA, where do you guys meet at?
Well, we meet at the WA Rowing Club to the Esplanade, and we meet every second Tuesday of the month.
Okay, so can anyone roll up? You just roll up and you nominate to be a member, or how does that all work?
Yes, you can just roll up and find out what we're all about, and you can fill out a nomination form there if you wish to, or you can actually go to our website and actually get the details there about nomination and everything else.
Okay, what's the website there? www. We'll put it on the screen anyway, as well as the phone number. And if you'd like to get involved in trout fishing and maybe get a guy like this, Stephen Giles, who's actually our cameraman, who you can see he really loves being in front of the camera. You love being in front of the camera, don't you?
No, I prefer being behind it. Thank you, Moose.
It's on the screen. Give him a call. We're going to be taking a break. We're still wandering around the other side of Northbridge that we were at 2 weeks ago. One of the great legends and of course that's what we did just on the weekend. The Kids with Cancer up at Ellenbrook Speedway. As you all know, we go there every fortnight. Actually, coming up, I think 2 weeks' time. The next Ellenbrook Speedway, anyway, is the telethon. So make sure you come up there. Great day as well. Okay, Wayne, now you went down to Ellenbrook, talking about Ellenbrook, and had a chat with some people racing some really cool cars. You want to tell us a bit about it?
Sure do. We had some people down there, some little people, junior division racing sedans, and we also had some little budding superstars that are racing little go-karts now, pretty fast little vehicles, and this is the story on them. Hello, I'm Wayne. At least I was today, last time I checked in. Looking at the clock. So we're getting ready to do some interviews here and just hang out with some of the young junior superstars here. So I want to say hello to everybody and what's up? All right, now as we move along, we see some people getting these cars ready. We've got Tyra and Kate. I guess there's a reason for that. So we better talk to some people who know. Young Kate, how you doing?
Good.
All right, now we hate to get you before you get ready to go out there and risk life and limb out there, but how you feeling today?
Good, yeah.
And how long you been driving this vehicle?
Just for say about 4 months, 5 months.
And how old are you?
11.
11, and you're already in a car like that. Some people say I can't even drive now. Now, who got you involved in that? Was it your dad?
Yep.
Well, good on you, Dad. All right, we're rolling along here. Good luck today. Let me see. Oh, no, sorry. How you doing?
Good.
And your name is?
Stephen Conti.
All right, Steve, I think we've had you before, you young superstar. Now, how old are you?
12.
12. Now, you getting ready to race today. Now, what type of car is this?
It's Corolla.
Corolla. All right, then. Now, I'm sure you checked out the engine. You had Dad and everybody check everything out. You ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, well, I hope you go out there and kick some butt.
Thanks.
All right. We just cruising along here. Now, a lot of people want me to jump right out in front of this car and get run over. And I'm thinking about doing it. How you doing? I think he's doing good now. He's getting ready to take off. I know it's a bit of drama there, and your name is?
Danny.
Danny. Now, how old are you, Danny?
15.
15. Now, how long have you been racing?
A year.
You enjoying it? Having some fun?
Yep.
How far do you want to take it?
All the way.
Well, good on you, and good luck today. We're excited here, and we're down at the raceway talking to two young superstars, and we've got Jono.
Coyle.
Okay, and we've got Chris.
Coyle.
Coyle. I like the way they threw that coil in. Dad must be standing around. Now, how long you been racing, young man?
I don't know.
Well, that's a good answer, but can we get it in time?
I've already been racing 3 race meetings, and I haven't done one for ages. And last race meeting, I got first and best for the day, and plus $30. That's highest in points, and I got the trophy at home, and I've already spent the $30.
Good on you. Good, I like that. And Chris, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, you little superstar?
Well, I've been racing this for about 6 weeks. I've been racing my junior for about a year and 2 months.
Now, you're junior. You're talking about junior sedan, right?
Yep.
So, it's a good thing you and Dad and your brother hanging out, hanging out with the cars and these little doodads here. Now, how are these things to race?
Fun.
How fun are these things to race?
Fun.
Very much so. Okay, now, how far do you want to go with the sport?
Till I'm old enough to race the juniors and forever in these, nearly.
Well, good on you, mate. Now, I see you got a little bit of dirt on your uniform. That's good because you've been racing. Now, you got a nice, clean, fresh uniform, young man. Is that because you haven't raced yet today?
Yeah, and I just got it yesterday, too.
Okay, then. Well, I'm sure you're going to go all right, buddy. Now, you guys have 2 good vehicles. Now, is there anybody you want to say hello to? First, Chris.
My mom and my dad.
Mom and Dad.
Yeah, that's it.
That's good. And who do you want to say hello to, young man?
My dad, no, my mate, and my mom.
Mate. All right, now. If we just get a 1, 2, 3 balls and all. 1, 2, 3. Balls and all. Thank you, guys. Since we're talking about go-karts, we might as well talk to some of the young budding stars of the sport. Now, we've got Ian and...
How you doing?
Yes, good. And...
Trev.
And...
Jeremy.
All right, now, guys, could you tell us a little bit about your particular go-karts and what got you involved in it?
It's cheap. It's doesn't cost you as much to run as a car. And it's just good fun.
Okay, then, yeah. Now, and let me guess, he got you involved in it.
That's right, yeah. I had to go a couple of months ago and I was hooked straight away, so had to go out and get one. And cost between $1,000 and $2,000 to get set up. Use about $3 or $4 petrol every race meeting. It's a good, cheap sport. It's great.
Excellent. And Jeremy, your involvement?
Well, I'm with Trevor. I just started with Ian, had to go on his, and that was it. Just had to get one after that.
Excellent. Hey, this is a great place to race, too. How are you guys finding the track?
Track's good. Yeah, track's real good.
Did you hear that, Lynn? The track is really good. So good job, guys, with the upgrade of the track last year. Now, if you could tell us a little bit about number 47, and what is this about?
Basically, we were trying to think of a way to make it easier to push start because you've got to bump start them because they don't have a clutch, and it just saves you bending down, busting your back. You can get hold of the wing and give it a push. Plus, it looks good.
Okay, then, well, let me look at this vehicle now. Let me make sure it's ready to go. Now, today's race, how many people are y'all expecting at it?
I think there's about 26 or 27 of us today, but always looking for more, so, yeah.
Okay, then. Now, speaking of looking for more, is there a phone number someone wants to get involved and, start racing and, forming your own club type of thing?
Yeah, if you see Phil,
come on down. How you doing, Phil?
713495. Can be contacted any day. I don't work much. So, yeah.
Okay, and what's that number again?
9571 3495. Okay. And look, anybody that's got a bitumen cart that needs it adjusting or whatever, they can come down here. We'll change it, we'll wreck it, and then, they can come and play with us. We have a good social side, so no, they'll enjoy it.
Oh, that's good. Wrecking, that reminds me of like Backyard Blitz. Now, and let me guess, the young lady behind you is?
Heather.
Heather. Now, Heather, I noticed you jumped in screen. What's your involvement with the go-kart?
I actually drive a J-kart, and I'm one of the two females that are attached to Ellenbrook Speedway. And no, I just love it.
Oh, excellent. How long you been riding?
Since October last year.
Okay, then. Yeah, well, you must be having a lot of fun.
Great time.
Well, thanks a lot, and every success today.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to win.
Nothing wrong with a little bit of confidence. I like it. Thanks a lot to all the people from Ellenbrook Speedway, and they've been fantastic. Now, Action Man, what are we doing right now?
We're standing in a flight of steps, and we should be going to a break.
Well, I think we're going to go to a break and avoid our legions of fans that are downstairs.
Yes. Leave me alone. I see dead people. Look at my hooves.
Well, guess what? Welcome back to everyone. And now we're going to go to a story that I did out at Karawarra with some cute little kitties, and we're going to talk to some people, and this is part one of a story out at Karawarra Community Center. Now, we're here at the South Perth Community Center, formerly the Karawarra Project. Karawarra, I got to get that right. Sometimes you get tongue-tied. And we're going to go out here and see what's happening with everybody and try to have a bit of fun. As you can see, we have little earthling people coming over in the screen, and we might want to chat to them. What's your name, young man?
Travis.
Travis. How old are you? Jarvis. Now, are you sure it's Jarvis? Now, how old are you, Jarvis?
7.
Now, what do you like about this center? What do you like to do?
Play.
Play. And what games do you usually play?
Football.
Football. Okay, then. Well, thanks a lot. Now, we just moving right along. And your name, young man? I saw you over there laughing. Don't even try to hide out. Now, what's your name, young man?
Jokum. What is it? Jokum.
Jokum. Now, what do you like to do?
Basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah.
Now, do you have some skills?
Yeah.
All right, what you got? Let me see.
No, I did.
Okay, well, he's trying to show me. And your name is?
Lindell.
Lindell, you got to look at the camera, Lindell. Linda. Now, how old are you? Are you 6? Yes. Now, I see you have a little bit of a hula hoop there. Now, what are you doing with that? That much. Okay, then. Well, thanks a lot. And your name is? Noel. How you doing, Noel? Now, what have you been doing, Noel, today that you can speak about?
Playing skating.
Skating. Okay, then. You having fun with that?
Yep.
All right, then. Well, good on you. All right, then. Now, we're going to move along, and we'll chat to some people and just see what else is happening here. Maybe it's a few games I can play. Maybe I can borrow a hula hoop or basketball or whatever. We'll see how we go. All right, okie dokie. All right, now we're here, and we got to do an interview, and what better person to do it with than Mike. Now, Mike, if you could tell us a little bit about your title.
Okay. Yeah, Vane, I'm Michael. I'm part of the youth activities here at Karawarra Community Project. And it's great to have you guys along because we've got a Men in the Shed program that's starting up. That's going to be running for the next 2 months till the end of August. And yeah, we've got a great new facility here in the shed. It's a brand new shed that's been built down here at the South Perth Recreation Centre at George Burnett Park. And we've got a great facility inside the shed. We've got some tools, so we're after some young blokes, old blokes, and any blokes in between, and to work on the Men in the Shed program here.
Excellent. Now, we're going to go through the shed, and actually I know a lot of women out there want men to use their tools more properly too, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Now, actually, the Men in the Shed program, who started that?
Okay, well, it's a new project we're just starting. We've got funding from Family and Children's Services and Family and Community Services to run it for the next 2 months. So we've got a bit of funding for some tools and to run some projects out of here that the guys are interested in doing.
Now, I know that you guys have some young talent here. Dwayne, come on over here, Dwayne. Get on over here, you little superstar. Now, this is Dwayne. How you doing, Dwayne?
I'm doing all right, thanks.
All right. Now, Dwayne, can you tell us a little bit about your involvement with this project?
I've been coming here for 6 years, and I've never been, just like coming here, you know.
Okay, then. So are you going to work with this Men in the Shed program?
Yeah, I'm going to work here.
Excellent. Now, how old are you now?
I'm 13 in September.
Okay. September what?
20th.
Oh, that's good. See, September 11th. See, us Virgos got to stick together. Anyway, we're going to go through the shed, and I see this young man has a happy face. Come on over here. Now, turn around, young man. Now, you want to describe your face there? It's a face, isn't it?
Yes, it's a face. It's a mask.
It's a mask. Oh, I just thought you had a bad day last night, but that's an actual mask. Okay, now, and what's your name?
Chris, you met me.
I know, Chris. You are like all over the place, Chris, and I think you've gotten taller. Now, we're going to actually go in the shed and see what's happening. Well, you know what I mean? You got to get in the spirit of things if you're going to do these types of stuff. So, I'm in the spirit, and some people actually say I look better. Now, Mike, if you could tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, the idea behind the Men in the Shed program is that men can bring down projects to do, or repair things, or they can even come to us, and we've got some projects that they can do as well. And this is one project that some of our young men and participants are doing. They're redoing this old cabinet, and they're doing it up and sanding it back. And we've got some tools and things to use, so they'll be sanding that back, and I believe one of the participants is going to take this home and put it in their home. So
that's great. And you know what? I can attest to this. This is very smooth. So if you're at home, say it. Smooth. And that's what you can do while you're here. Now, what else do we have happening, Mike?
Well, the program's just beginning, and hopefully it's going to really take off, but it's about what the men want to do.
Speaking of taking off. Yeah,
and it's a space also to hang out and perhaps even have a cup of coffee or tea, and we're going to set up the space how the men want it, and hopefully we'll be attracting some older men as well, and some younger men, and men of all ages to participate in the program to do their projects.
Reminds me of the show Men in Tights. Now, over here, we have hay. Now, I don't know how to say this, but I guess y'all thought I was horsing around. But, okay, we have some hay over here. Now, what is this all about?
That's from another project that some other men have been working on, and that's a straw bale shed that's involved with the fun factory here, and they've made a straw bale construction and put the animals in it. This new shed which is outside. So this is a hive activity around here, so that's just one of the things that has been going on.
Brilliant. Now, is there anything else, like if somebody wants to get involved with you guys, is there a phone number that they can call to ring up and get involved with this project? Because it looks like a pretty good project, actually.
For sure. We're Karawarra Community Project, 9450-3817. 9450-3817 is the number to contact either youth activities, if you're interested in the Men in the Shed program, or you can contact the same number for the Fun Factory as well, which is activities 5 and up to 12. And the youth activities is 12 and up.
Oh, excellent. Well, thanks a lot for that, Mike. And believe me, if you're not doing anything, or even if you are doing something, come on out and have a go. It should be fun and exciting, and you get a chance to use your hands, which a lot of you guys are going to need to do. Now, thanks a lot, Mike.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Thanks for your time.
Thanks a lot to everybody down at Karawarra Community Center. We also have part 2 of that coming up in the coming weeks. Now, what else do we have on tap, Moose?
Well, we've got the Ashes, as you know, being played here on Access 31, and some people have been writing and emailing saying, how come we're seeing some of the old shows? Well, these are a lot of shows that have been requested to be replayed, and we're using this opportunity of repeating some of those old shows. So that's 4 o'clock on a Saturday, and when the Ashes is washed out, they'll probably play it again Monday at 8:30. That's for 2 weeks, and then Balls and All's back to full strength. And what's going to happen
full
after
strength?
that?
We have our birthday show. So, and how do we get involved, Wayne?
Well, basically, if you want to get involved with the birthday show, make sure you write or email us and do it quickly, because we're expecting quite a few people. The site is not yet to be announced, but as soon as we find out, we will get back to you.
And that's going to be around about September the 21st to 22nd. That's also to be advised. So, but tell us if you're interested. You'd like to come and see how we basically have a bit of fun live
and lose
it, and how we contain Wayne, because
it's very difficult.
We have those electric shock things. And so anyway, yeah, thanks for watching. We're going to be back in a couple weeks' time. Make sure you watch the Ashes here on Access 31. And everyone, the name of the show is
Balls and All.
Okay, we'll see you then. Balls and All would like to thank the following